Welcome back to the channel, guys. Jake here. In today's video, we're going to go over a free resource available to everyone, and that would be Yahoo Finance. When using Yahoo Finance, you might want to be logged in. If you don't already have a Yahoo account, it takes like 30 seconds to create one. It's super easy. I made a new one in order to film this video, and I've logged in for you. Another nice thing about creating an account is you can get the Yahoo Finance app, and anything that you change when logged in on the desktop, it'll automatically sync with your phone. If this video does well, maybe I'll do a review of the Yahoo Finance app. First thing you notice once you're logged in is that Yahoo Finance does a really good job of aggregating news. Now, they do publish their own news articles, but they're also an aggregator for other sites. So you will get news articles from MarketWatch, Bloomberg, The Motley Fool, what else do we got here? The Wall Street Journal. So if you're looking for news on what's happening in the world of finance and investing, this is a good place to go to begin with. Next thing you'll know is on the right side, there is a toolbar for My Watchlist. This is always nice, just putting in the stock symbols of companies that you're trying to check, day to day when the markets are open. Super easy. If you want to add a company, you can just go to Add Symbol, and if you either know the stock ticker symbol or you can just spell it out. So for example, if I want to add MasterCard, I could put that in if I didn't know the ticker symbol was MA. And then it adds it in there, and every time you refresh the page, all of the percent gain or share price stock value changes will be updated. If you want to customize the right side here, you can click on Customize, and then you can kind of like click and drag these around if you want stock gainers higher up, or if there's just way too much going on here, you can uncheck these. Like if I can get rid of currencies or futures because I don't care, then it won't show up on my homepage anymore. Something you might want to consider doing is actually recreating your investment portfolios on Yahoo Finance. There is an ability to link your brokerage accounts if you feel comfortable signing in through Yahoo in order to give them your information. It'll then automatically refresh on Yahoo Finance and you don't have to manually input it. But let's go ahead and create a portfolio. Why would you be doing this? Well, to be logged into, for example, my Vanguard account or my Charles Schwab account or my Robinhood account, I'd have to be on my computer, and these brokerage accounts, it's sensitive information in there. Additionally, they might try and auto-log you off. If your computer is just sitting there idly for a while, it'll kick you out. If you have multiple brokerage accounts, you can bring it all together in one spot with Yahoo Finance, and you can leave the computer open. Anybody can see it because they can't actually then change anything. So let's say we wanted to build a dividend portfolio, and we were to call this the dividend portfolio. Did I spell that right? And if you want to be tracking in different currencies because you're international, you can do that. We'll just go with US dollars and hit submit. I can then, within this portfolio, start adding stocks. So famous dividend stocks is AT&T, and we'll add maybe Johnson & Johnson, and let's add Wells Fargo Company. So currently within this portfolio that we just created, we're seeing the basic information. If we click on My Holdings, we can then adjust how much is in there. So if we click on the Add Lot, we can then say what day we bought this stock, how many shares we bought, what was our cost basis, and then it'll track all this information. So let's say that we bought, I don't know, Wells Fargo a couple days ago, and we bought 100 shares, and maybe the cost basis was at $22, and we can hit Enter. It'll factor all that in. So now it's showing us, we bought 100 shares at a cost average of $22. The market value for that is $2,384. So today we're down 0.54. However, since this fictitious purchase, we're up 8.36%, which is pretty nice. If we scroll back to the top, useful tabs might include screeners. If you've ever used an ETF or a stock screener before, they're very helpful in researching or finding new stocks to invest in. I personally think the one on Charles Schwab is better, but Yahoo Finance is free. Anyone can access it. Now, if you see this, it says premium. Yahoo was purchased by Verizon in 2017, and last year on Yahoo Finance, they introduced this premium subscription service. In my opinion, 90% of Yahoo Finance is free. You can do whatever you used to be able to do, but occasionally you will hit a paywall for certain services or benefits. I don't think paying $35 a month is worth it for premium services, but if you use Yahoo Finance a lot and you value it, maybe consider for all of this additional extra stuff. But for everything that you can do that is free, it's definitely worth your time. If we go to the Markets tab, something that's very beneficial is calendars. And this will show you exactly what's going on in the world of investing. So, for example, today is September 9th. There are 14 stock splits occurring and 4 IPOs happening. There's thousands and thousands of stocks that are on Yahoo Finance. So if we just click on these, we check these out. I don't recognize any of these companies. Go ahead and click on the symbol if you want to learn more about this company, but there's a lot going on. Back under the Markets tab, you can look under different categories such as stock gainers, and that's interesting to see what's been doing well today. So you can look at percent change or value change, volume, market cap size. And something also fun to look at is the heat map. So you can see where's the money moving the most today. And because Apple is so large, they were up 4% today. So because of their market cap being over $2 trillion, most of the gain in the market today was Apple or Amazon or Microsoft or Tesla. Let's do the exact opposite and see what are the biggest losers today in the markets. Nikola down 15%. Okay, let's go on the heat map here. Do I recognize any of these companies? Well, Nikola down 15%, Lululemon, Athletics down 7.4%, Carnival Corporation down 3%. So these are the biggest losers in the market today. At this point, let's look at the details for a specific stock, and just for fun, we can always do Apple. You know, everybody, if you own an ETF, you basically own Apple. And when we scroll down, we're going to go past the graph for right now. And we're looking at the basic information: market cap size, PE ratio, earnings per share, their earnings dates, their forward dividend yield, their ex-dividend dates, 1 year target estimates based on analysts' rating. Let's see here, 52-week range, so forth and so forth. The top bar has all the information that you could ever want on Apple. We can look at historical data, and this will give us share price, ex-dividend dates. We can click on profile, and for any company, this will tell you who the CEO is. It'll give you where their headquarters are, a brief description of what that company does. So if you just don't know anything about it, you can research a company. Conversations, I think this is like a message board. I wouldn't value this. So it's up to you if you like jumping on message boards, asking questions, seeing what other people think. The statistics page, this will give you all of the valuation measures that you could want, and profitability, income statements, balance sheets, dividends and stock splits. If we go to options, this will show you an option chain. If you're interested in put and call options on Apple, this is something to research definitely. Holders, for me, I think this is really interesting. It shows you who owns the most shares of Apple, and the largest shareholder of Apple is the Vanguard Group. They have a lot of mutual funds and ETFs. Second is BlackRock. If you contribute to the government TSP, this is BlackRock. Top mutual fund holders, this will show you the individual ETFs. So Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index, VTI, I own some of this. They own 2.6% of Apple. And then Vanguard's S&P 500 Index Fund was at VT-SAX, that's 1.98%. Also, something interesting is insider transactions. I really like this, seeing who inside the company has been buying and selling. So it looks like Tim Cook sold some on August 24th and issued shares. So on FinViz, they color code it for green for buying, red for selling, and I always like looking at what do people who work for this company or own large percentages of the company, what have they been doing with the stock? I definitely think one of the most useful tools available to you as an investor or trader is Yahoo Finance's graphing capabilities. I've used the graphing capabilities on Schwab, Vanguard, Robinhood. They're decent, but in my opinion, Yahoo Finance just has the best. So if you click on chart, we're looking at Apple's share price over time, and there's a lot you can do here. So let's just break it down one by one. First thing is the time period. You can do any date you want. On my trackpad, if I scroll up or scroll down, it either extends what period of time we're seeing or contracts it. If you want to just click the hotkeys, we've got the 5-year window, the 2-year window, the 1-year window, or you can go even 1 day if you'd like. And currently we're looking at a line. If you don't want to look at line and you're familiar with candles, a lot of people prefer candles. That looks kind of ugly. Let's switch to 2 years. This looks nice. Now, if you're not familiar with candles, there's a stick and there's a box. And the stick represents how high the value of the stock got during the intraday trading period. So the stick, the high, is the highest trade. The bottom of the stick is the lowest trade. And then the box, if it's green, the top of the box is where the share price closed. So the bottom of the box is where the share price opened. So if we just kind of like zoom in on this, I can't zoom in otherwise it'll change the graph. But on this day, February 24th, 2020, the range, it was all the way down here at one point. It got as high as up here. It started, the share price started at the top of the red box, and then it closed at the bottom of the red box. So that's how you read candlesticks. Not that hard. And then at the bottom, you're noticing these yellow or green bars, and that is just the amount of activity, the volume of trading that occurred that day. So some days the bar is really small. It's still a green day, but there wasn't a lot of trading. And then some days the bar is really high because there was a flurry of trading, and if it's red, it just happened to be a negative day that day. The D's is pretty nice. This is when dividends were paid out. So on February 7th, a dividend per share was paid out of 19.25 cents. There's actually an S over here, and that is Apple's stock split that occurred on August 31st. Let's switch to the 6-month view, and we're going to turn off candlesticks. And something that a lot of people like doing is adding indicators. And the most common is a moving average, and you can add as many as you like. People like adding, for example, the 50-day moving average, and you can choose whatever color you want. Purple sounds fine with me. For the field, you can either do, basically the data point for that day is either the opening share price, where it opens, or the default is the closing. You can also do high or low if you really wanted. So we'll go ahead and add the 50-day moving average, and that's interesting to see. You know, how is the stock price been performing relative to the 50-day moving average? Some people also like to add additional moving day averages. If you want to do, for example, the 100, and you can make that a different color, we can make that orange maybe. Or if you want to add the 200, these are trading days, not individual calendar days. So the 200 trading day average is actually pretty close to an entire year. So you can see that Apple's share price during the dip in February, March was briefly below the 200-day average. However, it's been steadily going up over the last 6-month time period. If you want to change any of these moving averages, you can do so, or if you want to delete them, you can just check these boxes and you can very easily remove them. If you want to compare Apple to the S&P 500, you can do that. You can either do the hotkey S&P 500, or you can choose a specific ETF, either SPY or VOO. These are the most common. And line size, we don't care. We don't care about color. We'll make it green. And you'll notice what changed here. There was dollar values on the y-axis, but you can't really dollar for dollar compare stocks because the share price dollar value doesn't matter. It can be manipulated based on splits or merges. So it's switched to a percentage. And whatever your calendar range on the left side, that's where these two stocks or ETFs begin. So if you want to compare how has Apple performed compared to the S&P 500 index fund, here's your answer. So pretty similar for the first month or so, and then Apple's share price, of course, just takes off. For someone like me, interested in purchasing individual stocks, I'm very interested in beating the S&P 500. If I could just invest long-term in a low-tax, low-fee S&P 500 index fund, that's pretty good. You're guaranteed the long-term average of the market. If you're buying individual stocks, you really should be outperforming an S&P 500 index fund. Otherwise, you are better off just investing in that simple index fund. Of course, there's a lot of other indicators you can add to this chart if you're familiar with Bollinger Bands, RSI, MACD. You can look these up on Investopedia, but there's a lot you can do with Yahoo Finance, and in my opinion, it's just the easiest to use. Like, it looks the best, and you can customize so much, so I really appreciate specifically the chart view for Yahoo Finance. And there you have it, guys. I hope you learned something from this video. Once again, Yahoo Finance, fantastic resource, free to everyone. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up so the algorithm knows it's good. In addition, consider subscribing if you haven't already. And if you have any comments or questions, leave me one down below. I love hearing from you guys. Until the next video, take care.